Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, it's referendum day in Australia. The vote on the voice for the Aboriginal people in Parliament is happening. I'm not sure what percentage of votes have been counted, but places are starting to call it, and it's not looking good for the yes vote. It's very depressing. Now, what I'm looking at is a news article that was released about an hour ago, so I'm just going on that. But you can clearly see the more racist states voted more for no, and the more progressive states voted more for yes, but still not more than the no vote, but higher percentage. So we have, like, no surprise here, Queensland 21% for yes versus 78% for no. South Australia a little bit better, 37% yes to 63% no. And we get to more progressive states like New South Wales and Victoria and Tasmania. We have all in the 40s for yes, so 43% for yes in New South Wales versus 56% no, 47% for Victoria versus 52% no. So we had the highest count. We are the most progressive state. That's not a surprise. Tasmania 41% yes to 58% no. Overall, the country is 44.8% to 55.2% no at the last count. So, like I said, people are starting to call it. I don't know what percentage of the counts have been, finalised, but it's looking bad now. Can it be turned around? Could it turn around? I'm not sure. It's just really depressing. I assumed when all this began that it would be a no-brainer. People would, of course, vote yes, because why wouldn't we want Aboriginal people to be recognised in the Constitution and have a voice in the Parliament to counter the fact that they're a minority and don't have the numbers, so they can basically make sure they are represented in the policies that affect them. They have a say in. Why wouldn't we want that? Why wouldn't any progressive person want that? And I guess they did, but there aren't as many progressive people in the country as I thought. It looks like the majority of our country is racist, which I really didn't realise. I didn't realise how much racism there was in Australia. We've been queried about, are we a racist country in the past? We've always said no, we've always denied it because of, saving face and, industry and tourism and things like that. We sort of have to. But at the end of the day, if you listen to, minorities, people of colour, they will tell you how racist people are. And I didn't really listen when I was younger. I didn't really hear it, I guess. But as I've gotten older and lately, I've sort of realised just how racist our country is and how much people of colour are hearing racism and experiencing racism, because I didn't really see it and understand it because I'm white, so it wasn't, something that was coming to me. I knew there was a lot of bigotry being a gay person, but I didn't think there was as much racism as there is. It's just really embarrassing as a country to realise that we're now exposed. The numbers are there. We've literally taken a vote and shown just how racist our country is and how much more racist some areas are than others, which we always knew. It's just really depressing because at the end of the day, these people don't want equality for Aboriginal people. They don't want them to have a voice. They want them to stay a minority that is vulnerable, so that they have control, because I think part of the way this whole thing was won was scare tactics and people being afraid of losing something. All these campaigns implying that if Aboriginal people got a voice and got a vote in anything, that they'd take rights away from white people, that suddenly they'd be taking land back and we'd be being kicked out of our properties, and people were being told that they'd have to pay, even if they owned their house, they'd have to pay rent to Aboriginal people because they'd own their land, and all these sort of scare tactics were seriously being put out there and people were actually believing them. They were getting traction. I really am surprised that people were that stupid. And the whole idea of the no vote was, if you don't know, say no. If you don't know, vote no, which was all about ignorance and staying ignorant and not learning. If you don't know what the vote is or what it means for Australia, just be scared and, don't vote for it. Make sure it doesn't happen because, oh God, what is it? You might have to actually learn. It's just, it was a campaign based on ignorance and staying ignorant, and it's just sad and depressing. And I just don't know where this country's going. I feel like we are we were progressing. I sort of grew up my whole life in experiencing just this forward momentum with everything, and I feel like we sort of reached a point, and now we've stalled, and now we're turning back, and we're being more regressive, going backwards, and I just don't know where this is going to go. Like, you know, I have a few more decades to live in this country, and I don't know if it's going to be any better as a minority, because it's just going backwards. It's just really sad and depressing, and I don't know what else to say. I'm surprised by this. It's embarrassing, and we can't hide our racism anymore. We need to do something about it, but unfortunately the minorities can never, you know, defeat the majority, because there's too few of us. So we're not going to win unless, you know, Australia changes on its own.